Well, it's been a lifelong ambition of mine, or perhaps I should say a career-long ambition of mine, to do the Caucasian Chalk Circle. Because actually, this isn't the first time I've directed it. Years ago, right at the beginning of my career, I was teaching at a university in Shiraz in Iran. And when I was there, the administration asked if I would direct a play with the students. It would be in English, and it was an English-speaking university. And I thought, well, they said, direct a play, your own choice, but preferably Shakespeare. Well, I thought Shakespeare's not really that practical for people for whom English is a second language. But it was then that I came across Brecht's The Caucasian Chalk Circle. Well, actually, I had seen it before in London. It was in the 1960s one of the real avant-garde plays of world theatre. And it was a play that in both its theme and its presentation was perfectly suited to the students who I was going to be directing. And so I edited the text a little bit because there's quite a bit in the play that's critical of Iran. I changed those criticisms to be critical of Turkey instead, submitted the text to the administration, and they willingly accepted it. So I had a large cast. We set about rehearsing it, and we rehearsed the play for 6 to 7 weeks, and it was really one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. It was the first time I'd directed a really big play, and it was a play that really meant a lot to the students. In Iran, this was the Iran under the Shah, the very principle, the basic moral of the play, things shall go to those who are good for them, meant a tremendous amount to those young people. And also, this is the first time most of them had experienced the theatre. A lot of them hadn't even seen a play. So it was a wonderful experience. And then, in about the 7th week, something terrible happened. The university went on strike. The students in the university went on strike. And they occupied the university buildings. There were a lot of complaints about the administration, and this was early 1968, which of course was the big year of the student revolutions, or student rebellions. And anyway, the university was closed down. 3 days later, the army came in and cleared out the students, and it was not, as you can imagine, a pretty event. Well, that put paid to the production. It was closed down, and then all foreign faculty members at the university were informed that it would be a good idea if they didn't continue their contracts. And so I actually went back to England, and where I was resident at the time, and eventually got another job in another Middle Eastern country. But it's been one of the big gaps in my life that I have never seen that production. It was never completed, that production of the Caucasian Chalk Circle. And so now, this is possibly the final play that I'll be doing in my career. I think it's totally appropriate that we should do the Caucasian Chalk Circle. And I am delighted to say that the play, once again, is extremely relevant. During the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, during the time of liberal politics, I think a lot of people felt that the principle of the play, things shall go to those who are good for them, is pretty obvious. You know, it's just a good thing. And so I don't think the play had currency. With what's been going on in the world over the last few years, and particularly the last few months, suddenly Brecht's play seems to be extremely relevant again. And it's interesting, now that we're in rehearsals, how many of the lines actually have a real double edge, which they didn't have before. And it has a real sharp political edge. So anyway, that's why we're doing it.